You might not know what Al-Anon is, but a lot of people know what AA is, Alcoholics Anonymous. And that is an organization that helps people who are alcoholics recover. Al-Anon is an organization that helps people who struggle with other people's alcoholism. And that is something that I've gone to, which ironically I have a glass of whiskey in front of me. And I enjoy whiskey because to me, whiskey's for the good times. It's not for the bad times. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to enjoy from time to time. But there have been periods of time in my life where I have abstained from drinking at all because I've been dealing with other things that required my full focus to just stay healthy and to get through them. And I want to speak a little bit to what I learned going to Al-Anon for a few years because I'm a COA, adult children of alcoholics, growing up in that format, being affected by other people's drinking, and then also being someone who's affected by other people's drinking in adulthood in close personal relationships. And that's not exactly my story to tell, and I don't want to overshare or anything like that, but I do want to speak to the fact that one of the things I learned in Al-Anon, I went there to try to learn how to change people in my life. And what I learned, the most important thing I learned was that all you can do on an everyday basis is keep your side of the street clean. Don't worry about what other people are doing. You can express your wishes and your wants, but you can't change someone. You can't make someone want something that they don't want for themselves. It doesn't matter if this is in relation to drinking or substances or jobs or, finances or the way that they treat you or anything like that. You can't make people do things. So all you can do is keep your side of the street clean, manage your own personal actions and reactions, and to the topic of this video, the serenity prayer. And I don't care if you're the praying type or not, this is applicable to everybody. It is, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And to me, it is such a vital reminder that stays at the forefront of my mind, especially when things get tough, because this past week I've had a very difficult week on the work front. If you've been watching this, if you know me in any capacity personally or even a little bit relationally, you know that I changed around my job situation and I was very hopeful and encouraged, although it was going to require a fair bit more, what's the word I'm looking for here? It just, the personal load was going to be a little bit more for me to bear. Pardon me. A little hang up in the throat's a good chance to sip some whiskey. Cheers. Drinking a little 2023 George T. Stagg because this is a big video for me. This is a very important video for me. This one's not opened. This is a sample that I received. And I am very fortunate enough to have a bottle. So I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to clear my throat. Take a sip of this. That is a mammoth whiskey. But when it comes to the serenity prayer, to me, the biggest thing is the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And serenity, by definition, I don't know what Merriam-Webster says, but to me, when I think about serenity, I think about a sense of calm. And if there's something going on that I cannot change, like the things that have taken place this last week at work for me, that made my life exceedingly difficult on many different ways, in many different ways, on many different occasions. It was just a lot to deal with. I can't change any of that stuff. So the best thing I can do in those scenarios is just try to stay calm, try to find my serenity and accept those things. If there's something I can change, if it is within my purview to change, if I have the ability to change it, even if it means stepping out in faith or stepping out into fear, having the ability to have the courage to do that is a big deal. And then the wisdom to know the difference. That is such a big piece of the puzzle because there's a lot of times where we try to do all we can do, especially if you're anything like me. I'm a doer and I like to get things done. And I like to, if there's a challenge in my face, I like to squash it. I like to run through it. And that's not always possible. And I think that learning that that's not possible and learning that there are things I do have to accept, and I have to find peace within the fact that I'm not going to be able to change a certain circumstance, that's something that it's hard to accept those things, but it's important to learn to accept those things, because you can't always control the circumstances. And matter of fact, I think I've talked about this, but the illusion that you are going to control the outcome of anything is silly, if not downright preposterous. All you can do is control yourself and your actions and your reactions. And to the point of the serenity prayer, that plays right into that, of the serenity to accept the things you can't change, the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Like, that wisdom is such an important piece of the puzzle that I think it even gets left out. So I just wanted to bring that up today. It's such a important part of my life on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's at the forefront of my mind all the time, and I'm just always thinking about the serenity prayer, and I might as well be a Buddhist monk in the mountains of Tibet or whatever. That's not my life. My wife will attest, I get stressed out more than anybody she probably knows. I try to do too much. I try to control the outcome all the time. But I guess I'm sharing this with you guys because I think this last week really showed me that I stepped out into the role that I did in my job at UPS in faith that it was the right move. And I trusted my gut. I listened to the spirit moving in my life, whatever you want to call it. And I thought I was making the right decision, and I still do think it's the right decision. But as soon as I stepped into that, I faced incredible challenges over the last 2 weeks, and especially in the last week in particular. And we don't even have to get into what those challenges are. You know the challenges in your life. We all face challenges. And it's not the specifics of the challenge that are the important point here. It's the challenge itself and how taxing it feels sometimes. And I just want to encourage you to stay the course, to contextualize everything, try to be, as much as you can, try to be real about the things you can change and the things you can't change. And then trying to find peace within that and turning over control of the results, trusting in the process. I say it all the time, but just trusting in the fact that if you turn over the control of the results and you just trust in the process and you put your faith and your actions in the right things, and then you find your peace within that storm, everything will work out for the best. So I'm going to leave you guys with that today. Hope you're well. Hope you've been well. That's what's on my mind and my heart this week. And we'll be back next week with whatever else is front of mind then. So till then, cheers. Take care of yourself.